Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be doing something a little bit different. I know I say that on every video, but today we actually are doing something a little bit different. Today we are going to be discussing a potential new rule to bring into the Premier League. This is something that I have been pondering over for a long time now, and something that I think could be beneficial to the way that the English Premier League functions and the way it works. If you are new around here, be sure to like and subscribe, and as always we are on that road to 200 subscribers now, so it would mean the world to me if you could leave a comment as well and help me on the way to 200 subscribers. So without further ado, let's jump into this. So the idea behind this rule is, at the end of the day, when football returns and fans can return into the stadium, everyone loves to see goals, and that's what everyone wants to see. And the proposed change, which I have come up with, which I'm not sure whether you guys will like, so let me know in the comments, but a proposed change would be that to encourage teams to score more goals, after a certain number of goals, they get either an extra half a point or an extra point, so that at the end of the season, these points are added on, and that they can benefit teams. The best way to probably go about that would be, if it's a tie-break situation, how many times have this team scored 4 goals or whatever it is. Or we could do it so that at the end of the season, if someone scores 5 goals 3 times, they get an extra point or an extra point and a half, and that's to reward them for continuing to play the football which the fans would like. The negative obviously to this is a lot of teams like to save players and keep them in reserve and like to make sure that all of the players are fit, and that is the one problem with this idea, is that as a result of this you may end up with more injuries, and so teams might not want to do it. At the end of the day, football is really interesting, but there is nothing worse than when a team goes 3-0 up and then just sits back and plays the game out and just, well, it just becomes boring, doesn't it, really? That is the problem there. And as a fan of a big club, it could really spice up the title race. We think about how close Liverpool versus Manchester City was a few years ago. It could make title races like that more frequent and more often, because the likes of Manchester United, for scoring 9, could have got themselves a couple of extra points for big wins in recent years. And that is the main reason behind it. It just keeps the Premier League a little bit more interesting. I understand that, you know, maybe you guys absolutely hate this idea, maybe you quite like it, but at the end of the day, that is my opinion, and I think it could work pretty well if it is done right. Like I said, it couldn't be just for scoring 3 goals, because then Manchester City would get an extra point every game at this point. So that would be the one thing, and it would have to be, it couldn't be just a point for every time they score 3-4 goals. They'd have to work it out. They'd have to look at the averages in the Premier League, how often do teams score more than 4 or 5 goals, and then work out how many points to give to them. It could be that it ends up right at the end of the season being that teams have a total added up, and say Manchester City have scored 5 goals 5 times, so they get an extra 2.5 points or whatever it may be to their total. At the end of the day, it won't swing things massively, but it does reward teams, especially in lower and higher end positions, to push themselves when they are 3-4-0 up, make the most out of the good form, and rewards teams as well, because when you get to sort of 4-0, there's not really much point. You know you've won the game pretty much, unless you're Arsenal against Newcastle however many years ago, you know you've won the game. So that's why I have come up with that idea. Let me know down in the comment section below, what do you guys think to this idea? How would you change it, or how would you improve it? Or would you just bin it off entirely? It's just a completely random idea which I came up with, so let me know. If you have enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe. There will be another stream tomorrow night. The last stream did absolutely crazy. To thank you to you guys. I think it's on over 1,000 views now, which is mind-blowing to me. Absolutely mind-blowing. I really appreciate the support, guys. So that concludes today's video, and I will see you tomorrow for the stream of England versus Poland, and most importantly, stay safe. Cheers.